Hello everyone, welcome to the Joking Dolphin Gaming Pod. I'm Mark and as always I'm joined by Matthew.
Hi.
And Nathan.
Yo, yo, yo!
How are we doing?
Good?
Alright.
Good and alright. Well,
Yep.
can't ask for any more, can we?
You can't.
Nope.
As long
How
as
are
you're
you
surviving,
doing,
we're
Mark?
thriving.
I'm doing adequate.
Just adequate. Okay. Fair enough.
No, now we're here talking about games. How can I not be happy?
Depends on
Chris.
what kind of news we're talking about. So,
Well, we'll get on to that. Speaking of which, shall we move on to the news then?
Let's do it.
Does anybody have anything exciting to kick us off with?
I don't know if excited is the right word for this bit of news, but I'll get
Okay.
into it anyway.
Go on then.
So, it's just a quick PSA about the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal.
Oh, that thing.
The thing that we talk about all the time. So this is really quick, guys. So basically, the merger agreement deadline has been extended to the 18th of October. So at the start of the last pod, we thought it's going to go through literally imminently in the next week. Another twist in the tail, and they've moved it forward. So Bobby doesn't get his $3 billion from Microsoft. Poor Bobby.
Oh, what a shame, eh? What a shame, poor lad.
Yeah, but they've got an extra couple of months now to over 2 months now to get it all
To drag this
signed,
on
sealed, delivered.
even more.
Honestly, if it goes into 2024, I'll be astounded. It will though, won't it?
Yeah, it probably will. Yeah. What should we talk about the ASRB? So that's the Entertainment Software Ratings Board in North America. So it is apparently attempting to get the FTC, which of course we've heard about in regards to this Activision stuff. They're attempting to try and get the FTC to greenlight the use of facial age checker technology to verify ages of users. So this is known as the Privacy Protection Facial Age Estimation, and it's a collaboration between digital identity firm Yoti, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and software company Super Awesome. And it works like this. So the user takes a photo of themselves. The system then checks if there's a live human face in the frame, and then the image is then uploaded to Yoti's back-end server for estimation. But this, of course, led to backlash, because largely due to the what this means in terms of privacy for like minors.
Yeah.
And this was reported by IGN, and IGN apparently received a rather heated email about the reporting of it, not just from IGN, but reports elsewhere. And they said in this email, first and foremost, this application is not to authorize the use of this technology with children. Full stop. Nor does this software take and store selfies of users or attempt to confirm the identity of users. Furthermore, this application makes no mention of using age estimation to prevent children from purchasing and or downloading restrictively rated video games, nor do we intend to recommend its use in that way. Which makes me question, if that's the case, what is it for? I'm a bit puzzled by it all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of holes in this. Like, firstly, what if you're just really youthful looking, like me, for example?
Yeah, but I think they actually said that the cutoff for is actually the age of 25. So I think it's something like in America, I think you need like approval from parents for, when you're applying for something.
Yeah.
And you're a minor.
Yeah. Like a guarantor.
It sends like a notification to the parents, and then they have to approve it. I think maybe that's what they're trying to go with. But apparently 25 is the cutoff. So if you're younger than 25, you need to get approval, which is a bit.
That's weird. Because I was moved out of my house when I was 19 years old. I'm not crawling back to my mum or dad saying,
yeah,
can I have approval to buy a game, please?
Yeah, you can't do it. I think there was a backlash by everyone about that.
I'm not surprised.
It's just a bit of a silly endeavour.
Plus, can't you just give your phone or whatever picture method you're going to use to somebody else and get them to send their picture in to be verified instead? And you just play the games.
I don't know if it's like, every time you boot the game up or something like that. It might be that. Because I think it uses the cameras from, I don't know, whatever devices. But I can understand if this might be used at, in shops, when you're buying the game. Because let's be honest, shops are very lax when it comes to ratings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Don't flog anything to kids. So maybe it could be useful for that, but this appears to be not for that usage. I think this is for when you're just using the game. So a bit weird. Don't think it'll catch on.
No, I doubt it as well. Because if for example, you've got a PS5 but no camera, what are you going to do?
That's it. You can't play it. Just
Yeah,
locked
no
out on the
games.
PS5. Weird. I don't know. Just seems all a bit weird.
Yes. Right. Should we swing this back around over to Activision just a little bit? It's fine. It's not negative. Well, I mean, you could.
It's not negative. Activision.
I mean,
it's
you
not
could
negative.
see
Okay.
it as negative, I suppose, depending on how you look at the franchise itself.
Yeah, go on.
But this year's Call of Duty seems to have been unfortunately leaked by a unusual suspect.
I'm getting really confused with this. Weren't they supposed to not have one? Or am I confusing it with that last year?
No, so
I
it
thought
was
that after Modern Warfare
so-
2 that there was going to have this year off. Oh, wait, next year. This year. Yeah,
well,
that's right.
This year, as in like from
Then
yeah.
start next year. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what was reported on widely and seemingly confirmed at some point by sort of reliable journalists and sources. But then I don't know, Activision
Saw the
suddenly
money.
did
I went,
yeah. Well, they would do, wouldn't they? Like
It's
rather
for the
than
gamers,
just add an
mate. It's not for the
expansion-
money.
Rather than add an expansion to Modern Warfare 2, like, oh well, why can't we just make another game like we always have?
Yeah.
So yes, so the logo for the next Call of Duty got leaked with motion material from the Monster Energy company.
oh, that lot.
Would anyone like to guess on what the next Call of Duty will be, or should I just go straight for it?
Black
No.
Ops 4.
World
There's
War
already
3?
been a Black Ops 4.
Oh, okay. That shows how much I know
World
about
War
COD.
3. World War 3? No.
Don't say Modern Warfare 3.
Well,
So it's directly follow up for it.
a direct sequel to Modern Warfare 2. This year's COD is going to be Modern Warfare 3, developed by Sledgehammer Games. So I don't know what's happened to their potential next game, wherever that was going to be. Even though this year it should really have been Treyarch's go again. So that's a bit of a strange one.
Well, it weren't supposed to be anybody's go this year. But
Well, no, that is also true as well. Maybe that's why Sledgehammer's doing it. So yeah, so it looks like this year is going to be Modern Warfare 3. There was some other leaked information about what's actually going to be in the game as well. From what I saw, they're going to make a new map for Warzone 2.0, which is meant to be more similar or something in line of the very first Warzone map, I should say, which was Verdansk, where there was going to be more urban building, kind of close quarter areas of interest around the map. I've not really played this one that much, so I can tell like how much different this one is compared to the other one.
So is there going to be a penthouse where Nicki Minaj lives then? And that's where she comes into it?
Well, she's coming to Modern Warfare 2 fairly shortly with Mr. Snoop Dogg.
I think
Supposedly
we've jumped the shark now, haven't we? It's just.
What, you
It's
thought
just-
it went ridiculous
it's
enough
just too-
with Godzilla and King
No,
Kong?
but they keep finding even more ways to make it ridiculous. I thought we'd peaked with Snoop Dogg, and now we got Nicki Minaj.
Well,
I
she's
can-
an avid COD gamer, I suppose.
Kong and Godzilla isn't that weird compared to this other stuff.
Really? When you've got Paul Pogba and Neymar and Leo Messi in the game?
Oh yeah, they're weird.
They're weird. They're weird.
Yes.
They're weird, but Godzilla and Kong is okay.
Yeah, but you can sort of separate that. It's
I suppose you could. I mean, we've already got characters from the boys as well in it. You've got Homelander, Starlight, and Black Noir. They can still currently buy. There were still some other leaks and stuff about what this game's going to have. I mean, the only thing that I cared about that I saw on Twitter
I did hear about
was
this.
that Sledgehammer are finally going to bring back the war mode from World War II.
Oh, that's good.
That's enough for me to be like, okay, I'll probably end up buying this COD.
I'll believe it when I see it.
If they do it, I'm very surprised they never did it in Vanguard.
Because
I was shocked they didn't do it in Vanguard.
I ain't buying this on release. Not a chance.
So if they confirmed that war was coming into it, you still won't get it on release?
Would I pay £70 just for the war mode?
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not just
Probably
that.
not.
Obviously, the multiplayer parts of it.
If they announce shipment, maybe. Maybe.
I've not seen you on Modern Warfare 2, and Blaze Shipman's been on it for months now.
Yeah, but if you throw war in there as well, then there's an extra reason, isn't there?
Extra reason. Anyway, well, that's it. I don't think there is a release date as of yet. Plus, we've not even had any
October
official.
Let's be honest.
It'll be around there. Yeah. So we'll see.
A week after Spider-Man. Calling it now. Early November.
That's going to destroy my wallet.
As if that time.
Like that period hadn't anyway.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I'll say bad enough, good enough, because we're getting the riches of video games coming out. It's going to be fantastic. Do you know what? Yeah, it is going to be fantastic because there's going to be that many games vying for people's wallets that they're going to go down in price rapidly. I hope.
Keep believing that.
You wish.
I am. Just like Parappa the Rapper. Just got to believe.
Yeah, well, speaking of toxic gaming communities. So
COD audience.
Yeah. So a non-profit mental health organisation called Take This, in collaboration with data analytical company Nielsen, have conducted a study of the relationship between apparent toxic gaming communities and their engagement by players. So the study was led by Dr. Rachel Cowart and shows some interesting findings. So 2,320 adolescents and adults in North America were polled on their experiences in gaming communities. So research found that the average monthly amount of money spent on games deemed non-toxic as compared to toxic was a difference of 54%. And these were for players aged between 13 and 25. So non-toxic communities had more money spent on those games, apparently. 6 out of 10 players said they had at least once quit a session or match or quit a game completely because they were subjected to hate and harassment within that gaming community. And 6 out of 10 players reported they had at least once chosen to not spend money in a game because of how other players treated them in the community. And 7 out of 10 players reported avoided playing certain games because of the reputation in the community. And younger players, aged under 18, were also found to be more likely to take action against toxic game communities, i.e. leave the game, not spend money, or not engage in the community at all because of its reputation. But this is interesting. Apparently, male players were more likely than female players to report a change in their spending and playing behaviour due to toxic communities. Have either of you ever stopped playing a game due to toxicity?
Well, I wanted to stop playing FIFA a bunch.
Well, I don't think that's a toxic community.
No,
because you're not actually communicating, are you?
Well, that's it. To be honest, I don't know if I've ever really felt that much toxicity in a game.
I've had two.
Two.
One's fixable, the other one wasn't. It was just annoying. I just stopped playing. And that's Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, right.
That was an awful community.
Really?
Six Siege. Yeah. It was rife with team killing. It's like you start a match and then someone just comes and pops you back at head. It was ongoing for ages. And I just thought, I can't be bothered with this anymore. So I just kind of stopped playing it.
Yeah.
Because the problem with that game is there's not much you can do on your own.
No, it's pretty difficult to like lone wolf it.
Yeah, you've got the lone wolf thing, but that's it. And it's not very easy. It's very difficult. But yeah. And the other thing I've seen is Rocket League, because when you got the chat box up, there is a lot of toxicity in that chat box. I have to say.
Yeah.
I'll give you on that one.
But this actually reminded me of a chat that I saw years ago now, and this reminded me of it. So I actually went back and found the screenshot I took of it. And this is from a game where I were playing in a 3-on-3 game with just like a bunch of randos.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how the game was going or anything, but I just remember in the chat box, the opposite team were arguing with themselves. Right? And this is what they said. It said, my ping, so this is first player, it says, my ping, your SHIT. That's what he's saying to his teammates. And the other one says, shut up, and then a homophobic slur. And then the last one says, I'll stab you now.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. And that's just one team arguing with themselves. And after that, I just thought, let's just turn chat off, shall we? So I just did.
That's crazy that was their own team as well.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And then one of our team Just of course follow that up with Savage. Because of course you're gonna, aren't you?
Oh, cool.
But yeah. So you never experienced it then? Anything like that? Just me?
I think I've definitely experienced it. Whether I've ended up stopped playing
Reacting to it.
game to it or that, I couldn't say. I mean, there's definitely been plenty of times in like my my younger self's experience on early like Xbox 360 when I'd be playing like I suppose Call of Duty as an example, playing Search and Destroy, and they disable party chat so you can't use it purely for like obviously I suppose competition purposes. So you can't just tell teammates where people are and stuff. But like the amount of abuse that I heard during my younger days was you won't want to hear it now. But it's like we just kind of, I don't know, maybe the group that I was with, we just kind of just gave it back. So it was never like anything that like really affected me or anything.
Like one of them quintessential Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, everyone just going in on each other.
It's like I would never like start the argument, but if you're gonna start it with me, then I'll try and finish it. But yeah, I'll never really quit game due to it. But there's definitely some really bad examples, especially with the Rocket League stuff. Like we've the friend that I play with, we've gone into a habit now where we'll have the LGBT antennas, or not the flags.
Oh yeah.
And just the amount of like just chat stuff, like idiots that are just like absolutely triggered just by a flag is insane to me. So I don't understand it. I can't. I'm trying to think of like what would be like the worst community that I've probably been involved in. Probably is Rocket League. No, maybe Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike can get a bit nasty. I seem to find like PC seems to be worst when it comes with like everyone's getting on the chat and like saying rubbish. So
I just feel really lucky. Don't think I've experienced it too much, so that's good.
That means you were the one dishing out the toxicity.
Yeah.
No, because
I never experienced it.
Normally the games that I play, like we tend to more help each other. Like for example, I wouldn't say I've really been too much of an online gamer since probably maybe like the 360 days, like playing Halo 3, Modern Warfare 2, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Need for Speed Carbon, like that kind of era. And like recently, like probably from say 2010 onwards, it's been more I'll play FIFA with you guys or some World War II or something like that. But not really been going into the online games that much. Fortnite, maybe a bit of that. But generally, my experience is everyone's been fairly welcoming and they help each other. But I suppose that's not the same for all gaming demographics, unfortunately.
Yeah. I will say some of the most helpful communities seem to be from like MMO games for sure. Like the ones I've played, like World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, The Elder Scrolls Online. You always seem to find people who like want to help you. Even like old school RuneScape. We tend to find like communities, like random people just trying to help each other out and stuff. And like this guy was like nurturing me, like getting how to like make bows and stuff, like killing chickens and getting bones and stuff. So that was I always find those kind of communities quite nice. But I think that might be just because there's no real competitive edge to it, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like you're not really competing. You're more just kind of you're in this like world together, doing the same stuff.
I suppose with games like that as well, it's probably in your interest to help people because then they can help you do things. So it's a bit more transactional.
Yeah. Although I've heard some horror stories about Minecraft servers. So. Right, should we turn this news into a bit more positive, or at least in my case, it'll be positive.
Positive, please give us positivity.
Yeah. So a new animated series coming to Netflix has been announced. has a release date. So on September the 28th, you will get to see the continuation of the Castlevania story.
Good for people who like that. I know it was received very well.
Oh,
good for you, Matt. I'm really happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
And everyone else that
we
likes
have a
it.
good community. So yes, September the 28th, we'll see. I suppose a spin-off / sequel to the Castlevania series. This one's going to be called Castlevania Nocturne, and we'll be following on the story of Richter Belmont, several years after the original series. So they did like a, I suppose, a bit of a trailer for it. I won't say a tease trailer, but like official trailer. And it looks just as bloody and brutal as the original series. So, yay for me. It does seem to be adapting the, I want to say the Rondo of Blood storyline. And maybe it might get into some of the Symphony of the Night one as well. But we'll see. I don't know how many episodes it'll be. But absolutely look forward to it. Now I just need Konami to make a new Castlevania game already, because it's been like almost 10 years.
Should I just tell you what the rumour I heard was?
Ooh, go on then. What was your rumoured series?
Purely heard it. I didn't read into it or anything, but there was a rumour that there was going to be a Dark Souls anime on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I'd heard about this.
Guess that'd be a difficult watch.
Will it be the Dark Souls of anime?
No, I think right now that's probably Cyberpunk.
Who knows? That might be complete hogwash. Well, just throwing that out there.
True. No, it's true.
Cool. So, Xbox Live Gold is getting a rebrand.
It's dead.
It's
For
after
what reason?
20 odd years.
R.I.P. Xbox Live.
They are looking to consolidate
reasons,
the Xbox Game Pass trademark, and Gold's been like the stepchild in the corner, getting crap games every month. So I think it's got a bit of an image issue. So they're looking to revamp that by the sounds of it. So Xbox Live Gold is going to become Xbox Game Pass Core. So like an essential. Well, you could say it's in kin with the essential PlayStation offering. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be available from the 1st of September this year, with current Xbox Live Gold members being transferred over to Core automatically on the 14th of September. Now, there's been a few questions about what's going to happen with the games. So any Xbox 360 games that you've got as part of your Games for Gold, you can keep them regardless of if you're a Game Pass Core member or not. So you'll still be able to download those regardless of what happens with your subscription. Now, with any Xbox One games that you've downloaded, you will still need to have a Xbox Game Pass Core membership. So you'll have to have some sort of paid membership with Xbox to still get access to those games, but you will still have access to all of your games. So they're not going anywhere. In addition to that, you're going to be getting access to 25 or more games, and they've released 18 of them. So we know 18 of the games that you're going to be getting your hands on, all part of your core membership. So I think that's fantastic because you're getting a core of really good games from a few different companies here. So I'll just read down the 18 that we know of. And to be honest, this might get some people on board with it because it's the same price as Xbox Live Gold. So you're paying as little as £30 a year. I've seen it for on CD keys. So not a bad price. So you'll get Among Us, Descenders, Dishonored 2, Doom Eternal, Fable Anniversary, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Forza Horizon 4, decent game, Gears 5, which I know Matt's maybe wanted to try, so that might be good for him. You'll get Grounded, Halo 5 Guardians, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade: Sona's Sacrifice, Human Fall Flat, Inside, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is an absolutely fantastic platformer. Just got to throw that out there. Psychonauts 2, State of Decay 2, and I know Matt mentioned The Elder Scrolls earlier. The Elder Scrolls Online and Tamriel Unlimited. So they're the games that we know of right now. But they will be growing that collection, and we'll be getting editions 2 to 3 times a year. So, but I think it's a decent offering, and it's probably the right time to get rid of Xbox Live Gold and just really run with the Game Pass branding. But yeah, exciting times. I'm excited because I'm getting free games, so good.
You mean free games you pay for?
Do you know what? I know what you feel like now, Matt.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, games that I pay for, Mark. That's it. Yeah.
This guy.
Will this make people get Xbox Live? No,
tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
The core.
You've done it wrong again.
I'm not saying that word though. You're not wrong, Mark. Obviously, you pay for the subscription, and as part of that subscription,
I get what you're saying.
You get the game. So yeah,
I'm just being facetious.
You get free stuff with the subscription. There you go. No, stop it.
Let's move on. Do you guys remember a few years ago? I think it was a few years ago. There was an announcement that a gaming addiction clinic was becoming part of the NHS in the UK.
Yeah.
And that's been around for a little bit now. And there's some interesting points that have come from that. So this is taken from The Guardian, written by Rob Davis. And I'm just going to read pretty much as is, because it pretty much explains pretty much everything. So it says the National Centre for Gaming Disorders, or the NCGD, which had its first patient in 2020, was originally given NHS funding based on seeing just 50 people a year. But the Specialist London Clinic has been treating 30 people a month since the end of March this year.
Wow.
More than 7 times the anticipated demand, which takes the total to 855. So about a third of gamers receiving treatment said they spent money on loot boxes. And experts say these features, which have been proved highly lucrative for video game firms, are normalising gambling behaviours in young people by offering the rush of rewards that can entrench addiction. So during 2021-2022, almost 12% of patients who played video games compulsively referred to playing Fortnite, 10% cited Minecraft, 8% mentioning Call of Duty, and 4.7% using Roblox. And the clinic offers help to gamers, more than half of whom are children, as well as family members, such as parents. Of the 855 referrals, 408 of them were the gamers themselves. 227 of those were under 18. Patients also reported that there's been breakdown of family relationships, including violence and refusal of children to go to school. I mean, obviously, we've known about gaming addiction and gambling aspects of it for a while now. But to see some numbers attached to it now, it's pretty alarming, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the amount of young people it's affecting. Because I think over the lifetime of this pod, there's been a few instances where we've spoken about kids getting hold of their mum and dad's credit card, spending too much money, and it's been a little bit jokey, I'll be honest. But at the end of the day, it's ruining people's lives and people's family dynamics.
I mean, have you ever felt at any point addicted to a game? Is there ever a point where you've had to like step back and say, actually, this is a bit of a problem?
I'd say
I should probably tone down.
Yeah, to be honest, at one point, I had it in control, but I was spending quite a bit of money on FIFA points on Ultimate Team, and I had a budget of £100 a month to spend on it, which is not
You don't think that's much?
And some months I would go over. Like I probably end up spending about 1,200 quid on FIFA 14 or 15. I can't remember which one it was. It's quite a bit of money.
How long did this go on for?
I think it were over a couple of years. So I think FIFA 14, FIFA 15. I think I probably spent within that period of those two games probably about between £2,000 and £2,500.
So was this something you were able to stop yourself, or did anybody else say
no one ever said anything to me about it, because obviously it's my money, I can do what I want, and it didn't get to a point where I was sacrificing things to be able to fund the FIFA point habit as such.
I guess the difference is it was excess money you had.
Yeah,
Not
well,
like
that's it.
Paying the
Like,
grocery money
Yeah.
for it. Or
yeah,
something,
that's
stuff
it.
like
Yeah,
that.
we could pay rent and all that kind of stuff, so we're fine. But yeah, luckily I knew kind of, well, sometimes I'd go over a bit, but I knew kind of that was my limit. Like, I'm not going to do anything else. And it got to a point where I played a little bit of Ultimate Team this year, but I boycotted it and I didn't play Ultimate Team for probably a good 6-7 years because I didn't want to get into that cycle again.
Yeah.
But that's something that I made that decision on my own because looking back and seeing how much money you'd spent, it's like, wow, that could have gone to something real, like go towards a deposit or something like that. So
Yeah, I've probably got a bit of a similar war story to Nathan as well because of Ultimate Team. Especially around, mine was probably more between sort of FIFA 15 to maybe about 18. I don't think I spent about as much as Nathan, but I'd say definitely a good maybe 500 to $1,000 between there on various FIFAs. Just purely just chasing for trying to get a better team and then be able to compete with it, compete against my friends and stuff. Yeah, I think it got to a point where I was noticing I was playing Ultimate Team less, but I was still like spending like similar amounts just to get a good team, even though I wasn't even like playing the game anymore.
Yeah, I think I was similar, to be honest, Matt. Like I thought to myself, I can either spend a tenner and get these FIFA points and get packs, or I can pump 10 hours into it for what I would have got. So I was seeing like that time sink versus the money that I spent. I don't know about you.
I didn't even really see it as that much. It was just more kind of like I just wanted to have like a good team, really, and just be able to like show off, even though I weren't going to play. I think it went until I got to about FIFA 19, where like it was just kind of like, right, I don't play FIFA for all my team anymore. Like, why am I spending these silly amounts? And like then it just reduced. Like, I won't say I'd stopped playing all the team, but it was definitely like maybe I'd put in 20 quid in it just to sort of start off, see how it goes, and if it's like doesn't go well, then I'll stop, and that's it. I think definitely like the last two FIFAs has been where I've literally spent nothing at all. So but I think that there's probably a little period as well with Overwatch as well, with loot boxes, especially more towards sort of the mid-season or mid-game cycle, I should say, because like there's a lot of skins that like looked cool and wires and like emotes and stuff, even though they're not even like helping me in the game at all. It's just sort of like, I don't really want cool. I want my characters to look cool when I'm like killing people. So and maybe it's probably the same with Call of Duty as well. I'll even say that. Like probably started with when did it really start? Was it Modern Warfare? Was the first one where you could buy like skin bundles? I can't remember. Basically, like once they start bringing out the bundles, because they did like the Battle Pass stuff. Like some of them I would buy like if it looked cool. Like I always bought like the anime ones because there was like the tracer darts on them, which was kind of cool. And I'd probably spend more on like it's probably Vanguard, or was it? Can't remember. I think it might be Vanguard, just because they're the most like cool looking stuff. So, but yeah, never done it. It's like, oh, I've got to buy everything, but certainly there's been like moments of like, do I need that or do I want that?
Yeah.
So,
what about you,
see it in terms of
massive
like,
Candy Crush addiction.
Addition.
That's a mobile game. I don't play that stuff. No, I've never been addicted to anything. I might have been addicted to playing something a bit more than I should, but I've not been addicted to anything money-wise. I mean, I can think of the stupidest occasion when I've spent money, and that's, of course, on GTA Online.
Oh, the
shark cards.
God, yeah. The Megalodon cards.
Yeah, I do remember buying 2 of them, and I still feel disappointed in myself for that.
Yeah, you know what, you mentioned that. I think I did that a couple of times on PC version, especially ones like
just
like they brought the update out where like, oh, you could get like, you can make your own business.
Yeah.
You can get your own yacht. I'm like, ooh.
and then you realise the in-game cash. It's like you pay like 50 quid for something, and then you can buy a yacht and
That's it.
a jet ski, maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what's the point? Why are we spending this money? Ludicrous. But now, there you go. It's quite alarming. Those numbers. But I'm thankful it exists. That clinic now. If it helps some people, I'm glad it's there.
Just need to get a few more around country.
Yeah. If it's only a London clinic, yeah.
So, I want to play a game with you both. So recently,
Well, we are a gaming podcast, so
oh yeah,
that's
right,
kind of what we're here for.
like
down,
Jigsaw. Yeah, you went there, Matt. You went there. So I saw a blog post from GameSpot last weekend, and basically it was a list of the top 10 best-selling games, and I wanted to know if you could both guess them all.
Is this of all time?
Yes.
So any platform, just
any
10
platform.
games.
10 games. Yeah.
Minecraft is in there somewhere.
Minecraft is number 2. And also, I'll give you one life because there's probably maybe a couple that might stump you a bit.
I'm going to go with GTA 5.
Yep. I'm going to tell you the sales as well, just so you get a bit of knowledge as part of this game. So, Minecraft, 238 million copies sold.
Right.
And GTA 5, 180 million copies sold.
Wait, did you say Minecraft was number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's at least something that's outsold Minecraft.
So what number's GTA?
3.
GTA 5's 3. Wow.
2 and 3. I wondered if there's another GTA game in there.
So
I was wondering, maybe.
I will put this in as well. It includes pack-in titles as well. So not just full sales.
Includes what, sorry?
Oh.
So for example, if a game came with a console, it includes
Oh,
those.
I see.
I think I know number 1.
Yeah, I think I could probably get it now.
It's I'm sure it's Wii Sports.
Yeah, that's going to be in there, isn't it?
Nope. Wii Sports is number 4 with 82.9
So it is in
million
there,
sales.
right.
It is in there, yeah.
I could have sworn that was number 1. Wow, some of this outsold Minecraft then. One at COGS has got to be there, surely. I'm just trying to think which one though. Which one's the most?
First Modern Warfare?
No, not COD. Do you mean the original Modern Warfare?
Yes.
No, that one. I think the original Modern Warfare 3 sold really well. I'm just trying to think if it's the highest seller or is it the remake of Modern Warfare? Because I think that sold quite well.
Do you want me to give you a clue?
So there is a Call of Duty there.
No, don't do it.
There isn't a Call of Duty.
There's no Call of Duty in there.
What? Wow, I'm shocked. Considering they sell they're like normally the most best-selling game of each year that come out.
Is there Zelda in there?
Nope.
Ooh. Okay. A Mario?
Yeah, there's a Mario.
Go on,
Why
Matt.
do I feel like me?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a me.
it's a me.
Which one sold a lot?
The original Super Mario Brothers.
Yep, that's number 10. Just on the list.
Ooh.
50 million.
How many we got?
50?
4? Is it 4 we got?
Yeah. Right, I'll give you a clue for next one. I'm trying to think of a clue without giving it away.
You've not thought about it. I'll give you a clue, but I've not thought about how to give it.
There's been a TV series adaptation of it.
TV.
Last of Us?
I would have thought one of them would be World of Warcraft.
No.
Really?
I think that's because that's like a
Yeah, but you
live
still
service
sell
game.
though. No, we never. Really? Subscription games don't.
Right, I'll give you a clue. Henry Cavill's in it.
Superman.
Yeah, it's Superman 64.
I knew it.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt then.
Yes, that's number 9.
9.
50 million.
Cyberpunk.
No. Number 8. I think it's one that you really like, Mark. We've played it together as well.
Wow.
Have we? I can't get FIFA out of my head. What have we played?
I don't like FIFA.
Well, it's one that you specifically like, so.
I specifically like.
but we've played it. So, have we played it together, or have we all played it separately?
We played it together. Mark famously had a very good run on this game.
He had a good run.
Why can't I remember it?
This doesn't sound real. Mark, good run.
Yeah, me, good run. What?
Well, in terms of playing it.
Am I going to kick myself?
Yeah, you will.
Kick myself, surely.
Do you want to put you out of your misery?
No.
I want to try and think. Mark had a good run.
What genre is it? Or does that give away?
Action RPG, you could say.
How long ago was it that we played this?
This was a while ago.
A couple of years ago, maybe.
Oh,
Well, it's not Borderlands.
no, you definitely did.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't even start running, you walked. Why can I not think of anything? It's definitely not Fallout 76.
Is it co-op?
I don't know if it's got co-op.
What's we
Don't think
competing
it has.
against each
Oh,
other?
so it's
No,
wait,
no,
so it's competitive.
we were together.
So some of those competitive. Mark had a good run.
It's not competitive.
It's not good.
We were just cutting about, having a great time, doing missions together.
I'm stumped. I
Do you
can't
want me to tell
think
you?
I can't think of any games I'm good at.
Wait a minute, is it on? Wait, action. Is this like an online mode that's somehow separated itself from its original game?
No, still fairly intertwined.
'Cause I started thinking then of like GTA Online, but I'm like, that wouldn't be sold separately.
Red Dead.
Yes,
2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right.
I didn't think it would have sold that much.
Yeah, that's in the 50 million bracket as well.
That did sell a lot.
Wow.
Right.
Should've
The
got
next
that.
one
Oh.
is the game with 1,000 variations.
Is there a Pokemon in there?
No.
No. Okay.
When I say variations, it's just the same game, but we say it'll get a fridge edition one day.
Oh. Skyrim.
Yes. 60 million for
Of course that's
Skyrim.
me in there.
Right, so you've got 3 left. Still not got the top one yet.
We've still not even got the top.
So what numbers
So
are we
what's
after?
next?
1.
So you 1, 5, and 6. I'll give you another clue in terms of number 5. It's a genre that you don't like, Mark, but it's not a JRPG.
Ooh.
I can't think of many others that you don't like. What other genres do you not like? I can't remember. You like shooting, fighting, racing, RPGs.
I don't like battle royales.
Getting closer, getting warmer.
Wait, so it's a battle royale?
It could be.
Oh,
Well, I don't-
PUBG.
Yep, that's right.
Ooh.
75 million sales for
I
PUBG.
forgot that sold a lot.
That's number 5.
Yep.
Of all
What's
games
the-
all time.
Wait,
that's
what
number
do we
5.
miss then? Is it 6? Is it
Blimey.
1 and 6 then?
1 and
You've
6.
got 6 and 1. Yeah.
Wait, so then was sold more than Skyrim, less than PUBG? Are we talking around like the 60 million mark then?
Yeah. 62.25 million.
Is it in a genre that Mark still doesn't like?
No, he likes the genre.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He might not be too fond of the video game company though, the platform that this game's on. But he's got one. He's got the console.
So it's on Switch.
Yes.
And it's not Zelda, because I mentioned Zelda earlier.
The only other high-selling game that I know that's on Switch would be Mario Kart.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Wow.
Yep. 62.25
Yeah, what's
million
number
sold.
1 then? What's sold more than
It's quite astonishing I
Minecraft?
can't think of number 1 is. Was this bundled with something?
It was a packing game when it released with its console.
Is it a
Ninte-
launch title?
Is it a Nintendo game?
It is a launch title. Is it a Nintendo game?
I don't think it is.
Could you class it? Let me just look into this a second.
Ooh.
Or is it just multi-platform?
It is multi-plat. Come out for multiple platforms.
But it was also a launch title, so you're not sure if it's. Well, it must have come on Nintendo at some point, but was it a launch title for a Nintendo console?
Yeah.
For that much, it must be on the Wii. But it's no Wii Sport.
It's not.
It's not on the Wii.
I might have thrown you off saying
Tetris.
console. It is Tetris. Yeah,
Oh.
I was just going to go and say handheld for you. Yeah, Tetris. 520 million
Got
sales.
that Tetris.
I mean, you probably had about 62 lives, but you got there in the end, so well done.
Thank you.
I would say, yeah, There is no point
Family
doing
Sprout.
lives in this kind of thing.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought the PUBG one would throw you off, and probably Red Dead as well.
No,
Maybe The Witcher.
I knew about PUBG,
But no, we just mentioned Tetris. Have either you actually watched that Tetris film?
No, I've not.
No.
I've seen some clips of it. It does look interesting.
It's
I do want to
alright.
watch it.
It's on Apple
Is
TV.
it?
It's all right, but it's not actually about the game. It's more about an American guy trying to get the license for it.
Yeah.
From Russia. Quite good. Should we talk about weird collaborations? So, in conjunction with the release of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, Mutant Mayhem, Paramount Pictures are working in conjunction with Xbox to produce a series of official Turtles controllers. Not only that, but they are said to be the world's first pizza-centered controllers.
Delicious.
So there's obviously 4 controllers, each for one of the turtles, and each comes with a pizza-shaped scent diffuser that slots into the top of the controller. I want to know who came up with this idea.
And I want to shake their hand because it's
It
amazing.
was Nathan.
But the question is, what pizza does it smell of?
Well, what does the pizza diffuser look like? Is it pepperoni? Margarita?
Yes, it looks like pepperoni.
Right, it's going to be pepperoni, I'm sure.
But I have to say, I think the controllers are ugly.
I think they're a thing of beauty, personally.
I like the drawings on them, but I think the green ooze it basically looks like someone's just snotted all over your control. It just does. There's no other way to say it.
Right, Nathan, if you were given the choice of having a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme controller or the Starfield one, which one would you go for?
Now you're asking. It's got to be the pizza one. I've got to stick by my guns.
Right,
The Starfield one is a
you can
sexy
give me your
controller.
Starfield one because I know you've pre-ordered it already.
I've already got it.
Got it.
Exactly. See, now hand it over, and
Right.
then you can have your pizza.
Tell you what, you get me the pizza one, which is going to be vastly more expensive, and we'll do a trade.
Fair enough.
What I think is that these are limited edition though, and they're only available through a competition by following Xbox Game Pass on Twitter and retweeting the official Xbox Game Pass sweepstakes tweet.
Right, I'm doing it now.
Wait. It's not.
And the competition runs from July 24th to August the 13th.
Careful, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Don't care. I'm saying tweet. But which one would you have if you could only pick one? Which turtle would you have?
I don't know which turtle I resonate with the most, so I'm going to watch the film and figure out who that is. Because they all like pizza. I like pizza.
I think I was drifted towards either Leonardo or Donatello.
Any reason for that?
Mainly due to the arcade game. I always liked how they played. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Yourself, Mark?
Like it. That's because I like nunchucks.
Nathan's a Raphael kind of guy.
My brother's a Raphael guy. His favourite's Raphael.
Which one's Raphael? The red one?
The red one.
The red one with the size. But this has actually got me thinking about, what about the future of gaming? What other diffusers could we have in our game controllers? Imagine having a game in it. Every game comes with a diffuser. You just smell your environment.
That's it. Rotten flesh around you.
Yeah.
Come with Forza, you just get like the smell of like burnt tire.
Yeah. Immersion. But I don't know if I'd want a pizza smelling controller.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird.
Right, I'm going to use the Joking Dolphin X account to give myself another chance as well.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, another chance. Oh, yeah. And if you went on the Joking Dolphin one?
I think
Fine.
if we win, we all get a pad.
We all get.
Yeah, we should.
Why do we get 4?
I believe so.
Hey,
Surely you got to give them as a set, surely.
You just get what? Imagine getting the one that you don't want. Yeah.
I think they should all come with like different pizza smells as well.
Yeah. Different pizzas.
Yeah.
Anchovy pizza, ham and pineapple,
I'm a pineapple. Decent.
meat feast.
Oh, I'll be all over that meat feast. I'll be eating the controller at that point.
Donna meat. Get a proper one.
Donatello meats.
Oh my god.
Right, I think we're ending it there.
Don't quit your day job, man.
Yeah.
Don't get any better than this.
And I guess that's it for the news. Shall we move on to what we currently play?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Shall I start us off?
Go on then, Mark.
Ooh, go on then.
because it's probably going to be utterly no surprise what I've been doing. Of course, I've been continuing on Fallout New Vegas. Now, I've got no big, massive story at this time.
Oh.
But there's a few little things. But I want to actually give you a bonus bit of news, because it relates to New Vegas. So, a modder, going by the name No User's Name Selected, has developed a mod for Fallout New Vegas, which turns the character of Mr. House into Elon Musk.
I know where you're going with this.
So in the game, Mr. House is the CEO and president of the Strip and a possible arch-villain, based on the decisions you can make. And he's rather self-obsessed and obnoxious. And so this mod has created a mod called Elon House. And it uses text-to-speech synthesizer 11 Labs, OpenAI's automatic speech recognition system Whisper, and deep learning text-to-image generator Stable Diffusion. And there's a YouTube video of this as well. It's quite rather uncanny. It does sound like Elon Musk.
Ooh, yeah. I like to watch this.
If only I'd been playing this on PC. I should have had that. No. There's a little bonus for you anyway. But back to me playing the game. So this is kind of like taking over my life now. This is just like every spare moment is just playful New Vegas. So you know how I had the difficulty with the Remnant Power Armor?
Yeah.
My adventure to go and find that. And then obviously I finished that session disappointed with my life. The fact that I couldn't really use it because it was so damaged. But I was saved by something. I discovered the jury rigging perk. So basically you can use similar items to improve the condition.
Yeah.
So for instance, I can get other power armors and then I can just absorb that into my Remnant Power Armor and it would improve the condition a bit. So I discovered that, so I've saved my armor. Good times.
Good.
So that's that. Just a few other little things that I've come across. So I discovered a place called The Thorn, which is like an underground fighting pit thing.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. So you can bet on like mutant fights. Or you can even get down in there yourself and start fights. So you can actually make your own fights up. So it's like, you can have like 3 mantises, say, can they take on a Cazador? Who's going to win? There's only one way to find out. Fight! But yeah, I think you bet on them. But in The Thorn, there's a character called Red something. I can't remember her name. But there's a character there. And she tasked me for going to fetch a bunch of eggs so they could hatch them for these fights. So of course I had to go get off these random ones. So I went to go off mantises. I can only think of that. There's a bunch of other ones. And then eventually it said, go and get me Deathclaw eggs. Because of course that would be the culmination of that quest. So I had to go to this quarry and find these Deathclaws. And I discovered now that, you know how last time I just came across all these normal Deathclaws in my island. In this quarry, I came across an alpha male Deathclaw. So I thought, right, he just butchered me, as he does, as you would expect. And because I was limited on my minigun ammo, because I hadn't replenished it since my last adventure. So right, I want to go. I went and bought a load of surplus 5mm ammo. So it's like 1,500 rounds or something, like this big proper case of ammo.
Yeah.
I just went and just blitzed my way through this alpha male and all the other ones. And then there was a mother Deathclaw with baby Deathclaws. So of course I just murdered the babies, I'm afraid. I killed the baby. And it even said in the corner, the mother Deathclaw, it goes berserk and the death of her babies. I thought, oh,
you not kill them on first?
Nope. Kill the kids first.
Well, that's the worst thing you can ever do.
Well, clearly, because it gave me a warning.
Children.
But then I
got an achievement for it.
Yeah, but then I killed the mother as well. Well, there you go. We got the eggs. They completed that. That's fun. There's not much else we can really say, but I mean, there's a few interesting factions you meet. I mean, I do quite like the Kings. They quite amuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got into their heads that they all believe they're Elvis Presley, or they're all trying to imitate him, even complete with the voices.
Oh, nice.
I see you're doing a lot of stuff in Freeside. It's just called The King, yeah.
Yeah, The King.
Yeah. But you gave me a quest as well, which so he's got a dog, where he's got his brain. Is a good dog. Well, all dogs are good, but he's got a brain in a glass dome on his head, and then you have to go and replace it with like a specialist brain. And that quest, of course, is called Nothing But a Hound Dog. So, because of course it is.
Best quest name ever.
Yeah. So I know with that quest line, because I've done it millions of times. You get the option to replace it with I think it's 2 or 3 different options.
There is, yes.
And each option will I suppose change the behavior of the dog, and depending on which brain you get. I believe so.
I went to Jacobstown. It's the one that's got those Nightkin. The one in the top left corner.
Yeah, there's a super mutant there as well.
Yes, and there's a mutant who didn't like me very much there as well.
Yeah,
that's that. So I actually, because I've got so into this game, I actually got a quest list, all the side missions. I'm gonna go through them all.
Nice,
doable. Yeah. So obviously I'm going through checking them all off, and I've done all the side missions now. Apart from obviously the ones that you kind of get, depending on how you are with certain factions. There's certain things you can't open up.
Oh right, yeah.
Things like that. But everything that I can do, I've done.
Wow.
And now I've bought all 4 DLCs.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And I was aware beforehand that when you complete the main story, the game ends.
It will do. You get to a point of no return, basically. Yeah.
So I thought, right, okay. Before I carry on any further in the story and I get too deep, I'll start the DLCs. Now that I've done the side quests, I might as well get onto the DLC then. So I started the first one, which was the Dead Money DLC.
That's a good one.
I'm not so sure so far, but anyway.
Okay.
So you find yourself in this separate area called the Sierra Madre, which apparently is a casino, and you and 3 other characters are effectively being held prisoner by a guy called Father Elijah. I think that's his name. And in order to basically win your freedom, you've got to work together to do a heist at a casino. Apparently. So it sounds bright and glamorous, but it's not. This DLC was actually it's quite dark and grim. Well, at least this beginning bit is anyway.
Yeah.
So first of all my weapons and my armor have been taken away. So bye remnant armor.
Yep, that's it. It's all stripped apart.
Yep, we all know the pain I went through to get that. So thanks for that. And you're fitted with an explosive collar. Because reasons. And you begin in this area called the Villa.
Mm-hmm.
And which I have to say, it feels like a Call of Duty Zombies level.
No, you mention it.
It's like dark cobble streets, 2-story buildings with balconies, and inhabitants roaming the streets referred to as ghost people. And they're like shadow people. They're just dark entities with glowing eyes. And then there's toxic clouds on certain roads and that kind of thing. They deplete your health rather rapidly. And then it's even got specific vending machines you can only use there. Which again lends itself into the Call of Duty Zombies thing as well. And they use these special chips, don't they? The Sierra Madre chips that you can only get in the DLC. So this first task, so you have to go and find these 3 people that I mentioned. So I get I think it's a Nightkin. I think one of them is. You get him out of a jail cell, and then a ghoul who's dressed in a tuxedo.
Yep.
And then a woman who you rescue from a clinic.
Yeah.
And after some sort of experiment, she's mute. She can't talk. Which makes conversations rather amusing, I have to say. So you say something, and then she just stares at you, doing these minor movements. But your character acts like they know what she's saying. It's It's like, oh, you can teach me how to use like scrap metal and fission batteries to make chips. Amazing. I mean, it's like talking to Lassie, but anyway, there you go. That's about as far as I've got in that DLC because I only started that earlier today. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm loving it. Well, I'm not sure about the DLC quite yet. It's a bit too dark for my liking so far. But I'm hoping when we get to the heist, it might perk up a bit. But no, good. I mean, yeah, all the side missions done. I was tempted to go through the because I know there's a lot of unmarked quests, isn't there? Like things where you can find notes, things like that.
Yeah.
But it's such a faff trying to follow them, and it's not like you really get a reward. Well, you probably do in terms of things you find and stuff. But if you don't cross off on my Pip-Boy, then not for me. Not for me. So,
How far the main quests have you gone?
I've made it to the strip. Yep. I'll say I've dealt with Benny. And I've dealt with Mr. House.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty far ahead then.
Yeah. I think I'm coming up to the culmination of making a decision. A big decision.
Right.
So I thought this might be the perfect. I thought this might be the perfect opportunity to then do this DLC stuff.
Abandon, yeah.
Yeah, before I get too far into that. Kaiser, he don't like me very much.
Ooh, Kaiser. Is that the Legion guy?
Yeah, the Legion leader.
Yeah.
Bloke. Everyone else would call him Caesar, but they call him Kaiser. But there you go. But it's just because I was like in the early days for most of it actually, I was just going around trying to be good for everyone. Like, I'll help you, and I did that for Legion as well. I thought, right, I'll do this stuff for you. I'll go and get your firing pin for your gun and all that. And then I turned up once and I started speaking to him, and he started berating me. Like, oh, you do anything wrong against us, Legion again, I'll have my men hack you into pieces. I'm like, whoa, calm down, pal. What have I done? And it's purely because I've done stuff for the people. It's like, calm down, lad, calm down. And I went away, did other stuff, and I come back. I can't remember the reason why I came back, probably for another mission. I started talking to him, and then everyone just attacked me. He just said, I told you. And then everyone just...
Told you what happened.
And then about 6 people in this room, just in this tent, just started chasing me. But then I had to reload.
That was a bloodbath, I remember when I was doing that.
Because when you go to his fort, they take your weapons away. But I did have hidden weapons. You can hold on to some weapons, can't you? So I had a pistol called Maria. So I dispatched a few of them off. But
that's Benny's gun, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I recall that there's a gun.
No prizes for guessing what happened to him then.
Well, I mean, you said you dealt with him, so I mean, there's only real.
Well,
there's a couple of ways.
Yeah. But there you go. He didn't just hand me the gun. I'll say that.
We'll say it was handed over with interest.
Under duress. So. Yeah. But I had to reload. But he only started having a pop at me, told Kaiser, when I spoke to him. So I walked into the tent, everyone was friendly. As soon as I started speaking to him, that's when he just went into berating me again. And just said, kill him! Like, oh, right.
He didn't like it when you do stuff for NCR. So.
Yeah. So I reloaded back at the start of the tent, and I just turned back around and left. So I'm not getting into this. Bye. Yeah. But there we are. That's my continuation of Fallout New Vegas. As I say, I've still got 3.5 DLCs to go through, and obviously the rest of the main missions, so I'll probably be talking about this on the next episode as well. Who knows? Will I have finished it? Probably not. But we'll see. So go on, Nath. What you played?
Yes, so we have continued to play A Way Out. So it's been ages since I've spoken about this, so I'll just give you the premise again. So this is about 2 people, Leo and Vincent, and they've been wronged by this guy called Harvey. And Vincent and Leo meet in prison, and as is the name, A Way Out, they try and break out of prison and successfully do. And then the story goes on from there. where they have to go and try and track this Harvey guy down and make him pay for what he's done to them. So, the way we left off last time was we had just got to the hospital to go and see Vincent's baby because his wife just had a kid. Now,
tell me you played the minigame.
No.
You didn't? Oh, did you miss it completely?
Well, it got to a point, because me and my wife Lisa have played this, where Lisa got to this lift and I wanted to look around and speak to people. And she was like, hurry up. I'm like, all right then. Because I just want to experience it and talk to as many people as I can. Because I played as Leo and Lisa played as Vincent. So I was more of the hothead in the couple. But yeah, no, unfortunately not. But I did play a mini game a bit further on.
So do you know what mini game you missed?
No.
It's Connect 4.
Was it? Oh, yeah. Gutted.
You could play that down in the lounge.
Deary me. Right.
Go back.
Yeah, we'll go back. I'll have to.
Yeah, I remember the other mini game you were going to, but yeah. If it's what
the one in the hangar before you fly to Mexico.
Oh, I thought you meant still in the hospital, but I carried on.
No. Anyway.
Wheelchair thing, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, we did that. Yeah. We did the wheelchair one where you got to balance on the wheelchair. Yeah. I fell off loads. Not very good at that. It reminded me a bit of doing like manuals on Tony Hawk Pro Skate. Yeah, and I was never good at that either. So, yeah. But, no, we eventually found Vincent's wife's hospital room and managed to get in so he could see the baby, which was nice. But just as that was happening, the police had to come and spoil the fun, and they raided the hospital looking for Leo and Vincent. So then Leo and Vincent split up. So Vincent goes out the window, Leo runs through the hospital, and eventually they fight their way through.
I've said that is a magnificent sequence in that game.
Oh yeah, definitely. As it goes from one person to another. And it gets to a point where Leo's running through a corridor and he must kick the crap out of about 10 different police officers to get to where he wants to be. But eventually, Leo does get captured, but not for long, because Vincent manages to get into a car and then he basically runs into the police, gets Leo in the car, and then they're off. So that's kind of the end of that segment. So with the police coming after him, and they're now on the way to see Emily, who is Vincent's friend, who's got a plane that can actually get them to Mexico, to go after Harvey, to basically do him in. So we get into the hangar, and there's a few things that Emily wants us to do. She wants us to get a journal. She wants us to stop the petrol from pumping into the plane, and then there's one other thing that I forget. But before we did all that, we found this little arcade cabinet in the corner that had this. I'd liken it a little bit like a more advanced Pong, I'd probably say, because you've basically got two little paddles where you can basically make them jump and then hit the ball to each other. And if the ball lands in the opponent's half, then that person loses. And it's first to 7, I think. Anyway, I absolutely dominated and won 7-2. So, yeah, that was good. Enjoyed that. I think we got an achievement for that as well. So, just to make it a bit better. So eventually, we get onto the plane, and then we get to a point where we decide whether we want to skydive down to Mexico or whether we go on the ground. So we make a decision to skydive. And now Leo, one of the characters, is scared of heights. And it gets to a point where Vincent just pushes Leo out and he's just there falling, absolutely crapping himself, which was hilarious in itself. But I want to outline the best piece of teamwork within the game, because I was Leo, I was falling down, my controller disconnected, but Lisa quickly grabbed the USB Type-C, plugged it into my controller, and then she came down and rescued me so that I could land safely. So, yeah, that was good. So not only in the game, we were working together outside of the game as well. So thank you.
Gotta give it that one.
Yeah, quick thinking, because like this sequence was probably only about 20-25 seconds. So yeah, we're good. Just something I wanted to highlight. So you parachute down to the bottom, and you basically see a load of Harvey's goons. And now this is a bit where it transitions more from like a walking, talking, stealthing into more of a shooter.
To Rambo.
To Rambo, yeah. Because you've got a vendetta, and you need to settle all scores, let's say. So at that point, you basically kill as everybody that you come across and try and fight your way through to get to Harvey. So I'll just start that again. So eventually you fight your way through like the forest, and then you get to his compound. So you go through like the outer rim of his compound, and then eventually you get into his house. Not before taking a dip in his nice swimming pool. So that was nice.
I did that, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did. I jumped in, and then Lisa jumped in after me. We had a little swim around before we went in. And then Harvey came in with a few of his goons, and he has a grenade launcher. So we had to kind of take his goons out, and then as he was firing grenades at us and making us a bit dizzy, we eventually got to him and we shot him, not fatally. So we get to a point where Harvey makes his way to his office, and we tail him, and we think we've got him cornered. Now, at this point, he gives us this diamond called the Black Orlov, which is worth tons of money. So we get that from him as he begs for his life, basically. But he gets to a point where he manages to get Leo as a hostage, and he's got him at gunpoint. So with a bit of quick thinking from Leo, he walks Harvey into a situation where you can basically move your head so that Vincent can take the shot. And then at that point, it feels like a bit like Sopranos, where you're just absolutely shooting the crap out of Harvey. And once I shot him in the head, I said to Lisa, right, now let's get him in the nuts. So we just kept on shooting him in his groin area. And then he kind of falls out of the balcony and flips, and then goes into the pool. So
in that pool.
That's yeah. I'm glad we took a dip before and not afterwards. Yeah. Otherwise, that would have been a bit messy. But so anyway, at that point, Harvey's dead. Fantastic. But more of his goons show up, so we've got to get away. Now, this was probably one of my favourite bits of the game, because you get on these dirt bikes and you have to kind of drive through the forest and then try and get away from these trucks that are coming after you. So the first segment is one person's driving and the other person's shooting to try and get rid of these trucks so that you can get to the plane and get back to America. Now, there's that first bit. And then there's a second bit where they're shooting grenades. So you've got to frantically try and get away. And there was a couple of points where I got stuck on a rock and let the team down. But anyway, less said about that, the better. But eventually...
No, speak more about it.
No, I don't want to speak about the failures. But anyway, we got to that point. And then we got on the plane and then back to America. Now, at this point, this is quite spoiler heavy, so I don't really want to get into this because this is a fairly big
be careful
thing.
what you say.
And then everyone's happy in the end, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
I don't feel I could say anything at this point without it being a full spoiler, so I'm going to cut it off there.
But it's good.
But it is good. I would implore you to play it. It's not a very long game either. I think we probably played it in total maybe for about 5 or 6 hours, I'd say. But
yeah, probably something like that.
But if you like co-op games, and if you've played It Takes Two before, it's the same. Obviously, it's EA. They made that as well. So, yeah, give it a go if you're looking for a co-op game. It's fantastic.
It is really good. So good I played it twice.
Yeah. Well, there are multiple endings, and then I went back to kind of the bit before so that we could experience all endings.
Yeah, so throughout you make certain key choices, don't you? So we just made the opposite choice in the second playthrough.
Yeah.
To see how that played out. And we swapped characters, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good. I don't think I could get Lisa to do that because by the end of it, she was like, right, I'm finished now.
I'm done.
Fair enough.
It's like emotionally drained. Like, could we just do the last bit again just so we can see what happens? But anyway. But yeah, no, fantastic game. Another game that I've been playing is FIFA. So I spoke about this.
Really?
I know, really? Shock horror. I talked about this in the last podcast. So I've done a joking dolphin career mode. And I want to give you both an update because I know you've both been on tenterhooks about what's been going on within the club. So
yeah, I've spent all these past 2 weeks thinking nothing but.
I knew it. Yep. So I want to put you out of misery, Mark.
Go ahead.
So we've got promotion from League One to the Championship.
Excellent.
We did it as champions. We did it in style. Fantastic. Now I mentioned during the last podcast that we got to the FA Cup final and lost to West Ham.
Yes, beating Liverpool and Everton along the way, I believe.
That's it. Yep, couple of scalps. So we got to the FA Cup final again. We also beat Liverpool on the way, and we played Manchester City. And obviously we know FIFA's realistic, and we managed to beat Man City 6-1 and get the trophy. So
that is realistic.
We're now in the Championship playing. I don't know if it's the Europa League Conference or just the Conference Cup, the third, European tier, whatever that is. We're playing in that. So
hey, win Europe, so who cares?
Yeah, it's good. That's it.
Okay.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Oh, and we also won the Papa John's Trophy as well, just before we managed to get out of that godforsaken league. So
other pizza companies are available.
Yeah. But Papa John's is.
I've never had one.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing, mate. But anyway, so there is one more game that I've been playing. And it's one that, funnily enough, Matt completed and talked about in the last podcast. So I've got back to playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at last. Because I dropped off on this one. So what I've managed to do is I've managed to jump down from the Great Sky Island, which is kind of the first proving ground where you learn how to craft things and you learn all the mechanics of the game. And when I got to the bottom, I've bought these NFC cards, and they basically mimic amiibos, so that you can get loot and stuff from them. So I've been scanning them for the last couple of weeks, and I've got tons of stuff. I've got 1,000 arrows. I've got about 600 chunks of meat. I've just got more than I could ever use. But when I got to the bottom, I found when I started scanning them, I got better weapons, and I even got a couple of horses as well, so easier for me to travel around. So that was good. I did have one mishap though. So I decided to go over to this group of what they call bokoblins.
Don't ask me.
Whatever the little gremlin creatures are.
Boblikins, yeah.
Boblikins, that's it, yeah. Anyway, I managed to take a couple of the little ones out, and then the boss came up to me, one-shotted me. I'm dead. So that was absolutely devastating. Okay. Anyway, I come back, and I'm like, right, what I'll do, so that does not happen again, I'll start doing some shrines. So far I've done 3 shrines. One I actually needed Matt's help on, so thanks for that, Matt, for that tip. It was one where you needed to basically use this, revolving thing as a bat and hit this ball into this target, because all the shrines are puzzle based, which I quite enjoy doing. So I've got 3 of them so far. I did find one of these massive towers, and I want to climb to the top, so I could just have a vantage point. And that was fairly difficult to get to. There's a video that I'll send you. It was absolutely hilarious. I shot this big, massive, lanky creature in the head. But just as I shot him in the head, he threw this, exploding barrel at me. So I kind of took him out, and he took me out, and I ended up dying. That was quite funny. So I'll send you that in a bit. But no, I'm having quite a bit of fun with it, to be honest. I'm enjoying it, and I'm getting into it a lot more now. So yeah, just can't wait to play more, scan more cards, get more loot, and get through the story. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Matt?
Myself. So I'm going to be talking about 3 games that I've been playing over the last couple of weeks since I've finished my lot with Zelda. So one game I've come back to recently has been Judgment. So if you don't recall what Judgment is the spin-off to the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series, where you play as main character Takayuki Yagami, who is a former lawyer. I think he's like a defense attorney lawyer. He's like, since then he's now come like his own private detective. And basically at the start of the game, it was all about kind of learning some of the new mechanics that Judgment brings to the game, because normally you play as, Kiryu in the Like a Dragon series. Is pretty much just straightforward brawling, and that's kind of pretty much it to a certain extent. Whereas with Yagami, there's a little bit more to it. So you've got kind of you've got like the brawling stuff, although it's probably not as frequent as it has been. And you've got sort of other mechanics that come into like story as well. So you can like tail suspects, where you have to kind of keep your distance from them, but then also like trying to hide behind certain objects when they kind of turn around and have a scan around. They've got the chasing back in it as well, so you'd go for like a set path around the city streets where it kind of auto runs for you, and you have to like make sure you don't run into like objects and whatnot to try and catch up to your suspect. And there was other stuff as well. There was like a detective scan mode where you can go into first person. You have to scan around the scene of the crime and find out clues and stuff and whatnot that help advance the, case along with having like a little drone fella that could help out as well. And then as I was playing it, I got introduced to some dialogue choices as well. So throughout the, certain dialogue that you have with certain characters, Yagami will like have thoughts to himself, and then at one point you'll have like a almost like a typical RPG choice of dialogues that you want to sort of ask the suspect or the person, and you have to choose like the right things in order to sort of get the evidence that you're looking for. And you get sort of extra what they call SP in this, which is your experience points if you pick the right dialogue options in effect. So that's been quite interesting. At the moment in the story, I'm helping sort of like a former colleague with their case. It seems to be some sort of rival Yakuza hit that's gone off. A member of the rival to the Tojo clan has died, and I think as a captain has been made suspect because he was essentially sort of the last person to be around this guy, and you're trying to help essentially find evidence to clear this Yakuza's name in effect. So I'm going through that at the moment. Not gone through it too much. Other than sort of the main story stuff, I've been trying to look to see like what other kind of minigame stuff there is in this one. So there is a drone racing minigame that you can play. Unfortunately, I don't think I've gone too far in the story to actually unlock it as of yet. But it's there, and can't wait to sort of play it. Yeah, I think that actual air drones, you might be able to like race them and stuff. So looking forward to it once I unlock it, whenever that is.
It's not quite Pocket League racing, but I'm intrigued.
No, not quite. But I mean, I've heard it's coming back for the new Like a Dragon game, so I look forward to that. Other than that, you've got your typical ones. There's the darts. It's on there. So depending on, I suppose, what version of Yakuza you've played, this version of darts is where you essentially have to like hover your cursor over where you want to hit on the dartboard, and then you just click the button. You have to time a almost like a power bar sort of thing. Like it goes up, goes down. You have to get it like right in the middle to like hit exactly where you want, in effect. And I think in this one as well, you can get different version of darts. I think the better darts you've got, I'm assuming that the bigger this hit marker will be that you'll need to hit.
Yeah, this is the kind that was in Kiwami too.
Yeah, they keep on changing the darts one, because I remember in Kiwami, I think you had to use like the right stick to like pull back your shot and like try and power the shot sort of thing. It was pretty difficult. It wasn't accurate at all, but I mean, it was pretty immersive in the way they did it that way. They've got quite a few different arcade games as well. So there's Virtua Fighter 5 is in there, Showdown version. I think there's another Virtua Fighter in there as well. It might be the second one.
Oh yeah.
And there's a couple others, but my favorite that I've been playing at the moment is a take on House of the Dead. That's called Camera of the Dead. So like if you've never played House of the Dead before, it's like a light gun arcade shooter. That's just basically you go through stages, shooting zombies, beating bosses and whatnot. And it's essentially almost like a play like this, where you move the cursor, you're shooting zombies, you get more points for headshots, and then you get to the end of the stage and you'll fight like a boss creature in effect. And I think there's 5 stages. I did get all the way to like the 4th one, but then you get 5 lives, and if a zombie like swipes you, then you lose life. Once you lose all lives, it's like that's it. It's like game over. And I got as far as stage 4, about halfway through, and there was so many like specialist zombies that were thrown at me. There was like flying ones. There was zombies where their entire skin was peeled off, so it's just this red body. And they loved like lunging at you. There was these big fat blob ones that take more damage. And you'd have these like these parkour zombies as well that would be doing flips trying to get away from like where your cursor was. It was just nuts. I absolutely loved it. I might have to give it a go and see if I can try and complete it at some point. But yeah, that's currently my time with Judgment. I'm going to try and spend more time with it at some point, hopefully, by the next podcast. Now, the next 2 games that I've been playing are brand new for me. Not spoke about on the podcast as of yet. So one of them that I've been playing, that I've been eager to play at some point for years, has been Borderlands 3. So finally,
I'm stunned you've not already played that.
I am as well. I'll be honest. When it first came out, I did not get it. Even though I was really looking forward to it, I just don't know what it was at the time, whether I could afford it or if it was just like it just suddenly slipped from the radar. I honestly can't remember. But no, finally getting around to playing Borderlands 3. So, story in this one is you play as a typical vault hunter, not to be confused with Fallout. And there's four new characters in here. So you've got, if I bring up their names because I'm only playing as one of them. So you've got Amara, which is the Siren character. There is Zane, who is the operative. There is Flack, who is the Beastmaster. And the character that I've been currently playing at the moment is Mose, who is the gunner. So like the typical soldier class, should we say, for Borderlands. So the story essentially starts on Pandora, as it seems to start on in every Borderlands game. You've been tasked to join the Crimson Raiders, who are essentially fighting off another cult that's come about called the Children of the Vault. They're currently led by what I'm assuming is the main protagonist in this game, which is Tyrene and Troy. And they're essentially running amok around Pandora. They're looking to try and get what's called the Lost Vault map. And they're essentially going around trying to get these vaults open and take the power from themselves. So right now, I'm probably not too far into it myself. I've got to the point where essentially shenanigans happen, and you have to get onto this spaceship that's called Sanctuary, with pretty much the whole crew of the Crimson Raiders and some of the allies that you meet that you've kind of met along previous Borderlands games. And you're going up in space, and now you're going around different planets to try and essentially stop these twins from gaining these powers from the vaults. So, I mean, at the moment, like, gameplay-wise, it's probably the most smoothest Borderlands that I've played. Shouldn't be, like, no surprise, really, as it being the latest one, but, like, gunplay feels really nice. The weapons that I've got are quite powerful pretty early on, strangely enough. I've got this, like, burst assault rifle that's just absolutely mowing people down. One thing I've noticed is the rarity of the weapons. You seem to get much earlier as you're going up in rank. So like you'll normally start off with like common, which is like the white color, then it'll go up to like green, which is uncommon, blue is rare, purple, epic, and then you get the orange, which is legendary. I think I got like my first legendary weapon within like 1 hour of playing the game, which is a bit crazy. But they have
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes it easier, doesn't it?
I mean, they all have like levels to them, so like, you know, eventually like a uncommon level 20 will be much more powerful than like a legendary level 7.
Does it have a difficulty level?
I don't think it has a difficulty level. Again, it'll be as you sort of rank up and stuff, as kind of enemies will kind of try and match up to your level sort of thing.
Yeah.
One thing that is good about this Borderlands is that if you did play it co-op, it will scale the level to your playstyle. So like, if you were to start the game now, and you're like level 1, I'm currently level 14, I think. If I was to join you, the enemies for you would still be level 1, but for myself, they'd all be about my level, so they'll all be about level 13, 14.
That's good.
So,
because I think before it didn't matter, did it? Because we jumped into Mark's game.
Yeah, we would jump into Mark's game, and they'd all still be like level 2s and 3s while we were like 15s. So we were like blitzing through. Whereas like now, if I was to join yours, the enemy levels would still scale up to myself. So I would still have like a challenge fighting them along with you still having your challenge.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know how it quite works. It's quite a few games have introduced that kind of leveling where like you could have crazy weapons, like all sorts of that, but your level will still like match down to, I suppose, your level or the area that you're in, sort of thing.
Yeah.
One other good thing as well is that there's 2 different modes of, I suppose, co-op play that you can choose. So there's one that's based on like the classic Borderlands that's called competitive, where loot drops and it's pretty much first come, first serve, basically. Like if you get there and pick it up, then now it's no one else gets it, basically. Or there's another form that's called cooperative, where like all loot is kind of dropped for everyone. So even if you pick up your versions of it, there's still a version for someone else that can pick it up. So everyone gets like the same loot, so it's not like hogged by one person.
This is more like it.
Nathan.
Then but it's good because everyone's not just pegging it to try and get the loot then.
Yeah, Nathan. So
B.
I'm just kidding. So I think maybe if there is a Borderlands game we eventually play it, perhaps this might be the better one to kind of go with, because then you don't feel like you're just lagging behind, sort of thing.
What
in a way, level-wise, you will be, but not. PS5. But it is cross-play as well, so it's cross-play between PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC, I believe. And then I think I don't know if there's cross-play with the previous gen, there might be, but I'm not too sure. So that's where I'm with Borderlands 3 as well. Oh, so, I do like... Oh, go on, sir.
I was just asking, are you playing it co-op or are you just playing it single player?
I'm just doing it single player. Obviously, you can get randoms joined if you want. Maybe I might do that at some point, see how it feels. So, yeah, just blasted through that. I will mention as well, they seem to have updated the vehicle system here as well. So at the moment, I've got like 3 different types of vehicles that I've unlocked. So the normal kind of Outrider, I think it's called, which is just sort of like your 2-person typical vehicle. Then you've got there's like a truck version where you can have people on the back as well, so you can like transport more people. And then they've got this like cyclone vehicle that's like essentially this like basically like a donut that you like sit in the middle of, and you just like drive as like a single seat vehicle. It's quite fun to play at the moment. But what you can do is if you can hijack enemy vehicles, if you take them back to one of like the vehicle depots, you can like scrap them for like whatever new part that they've got that you've not had before. So like on my Outrider, I've got like heavier armor on it, or there's like a different weapon that I can get. I think I just posted in like a hover version of the Cyclone, so I'm going to see how that feels and what's different with that. But it's pretty cool. I like how more in depth there is with the game for that kind of system. So yeah, looking forward to playing more of that, and maybe at some point getting you guys on it. We shall see.
We know how that normally goes.
Well, we always say, yeah, let's play somewhere else, and there's no, back to EA FC. So, no. Right. The only other game that I've been playing that's new this week has been on PC. Don't know if you guys have heard of it, but has been making some waves on the PC front. So this is called BattleBit Remastered.
I've never heard of it. What's the same?
Never heard of it. Ooh, good. So, basically, this is if you got a baby between Battlefield game and Minecraft.
Okay.
So
interesting.
It's effectively like a military shooting game in sort of the style graphics of Minecraft. It's very blocky.
Right.
But one good thing about it is that basically like the entire environment is destructible, which is always fun. It's always fun to destroy things. So I saw my friends were playing it. I was intrigued by what it was, so I read it up and I was like, okay, this could be pretty cool. As Nathan posts an image from BattleBit Remastered. So it's almost kind of like, this is what I want Battlefield to be, minus the blocky graphics, right? If it was more realistic graphics, then yeah.
No, this is what we want.
Well, I mean, I've been playing it a lot, and I prefer it over 2042. So, so like a Battlefield game, you've got your different game modes. So you got one that's Conquest, which is where you capture different points on the map. You've got your rush style game where there's like an attack versus defense style, where the attacking team has to sort of push and capture objective to sort of push the defending team back throughout the map. There's also a capture the flag one that I played, which gets absolutely insane, especially the map that we played it on. And there's a couple of others that I've not tried yet. It's very early access at the moment, but it is absolutely insane. Like, it has up to 254 players at once.
Nice.
And the maps are absolutely massive. They're really massive. Like, I don't know. I've not attempted to go from one point to the other because I normally get sniped by the time I even get like a core of the way through. But I've absolutely been loving it. You've got your different classes set up as well. So you got your typical assault class, you got your medic class, engineer class, there's a support class, and there's a recon. So if you can imagine in typical Battlefield fashion what each class can do. I've just absolutely been loving it. Weapons feel good to use. Mental levels of recoil though. Like, I try and like spray like an M4A1, and like by the time I'm finished, I'm like looking up into the sky. Like, you really got to control it. But you can level up each weapon as well. So the more kills you get with a weapon, the more attachments you can lock for it, which has been really nice to see. And I think it's just bonkers. Absolutely love it. It gives me that like Battlefield kind of experience that I've been craving for ever since like Bad Company 2.
So is this the COD killer?
I don't think it would be a COD killer. Like, I would love to see it on consoles. Honestly, I think it would do very well.
Is it first person?
It is first person, yes. Yeah. So literally everything's first person. So vehicles that you drive is first person. I do love as well the transport helicopters you can get in. You can pull down like the zip line, and you can like go down the zip line as like the helicopter's going. So you can end up like crashing into buildings and stuff. It's hilarious. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this game so far. Don't know why it's called remastered though, because it's not actually remastered from like any other game.
It's just the first game.
Yeah, they just gave it that name because it was funny. So
why not?
Yeah, but honestly, being in some of these like battle fights, especially if you're testing like 1 point and there's like 16, players on each team trying to fight over this point, it gets nuts. It gets absolutely crazy. But that's what Battlefield games should be to me. So. Right, well, that's what I've been playing.
Well, there you have it. Thanks very much, chaps. Pleasure as always. So if you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release bi-weekly on Tuesdays. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com. Also, feel free to follow us on all social media platforms to continue the conversation. You can find Joking Dolphin on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Joking Dolphin. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Take care.
See ya. And it's X, not Twitter.
No.
No.
Go away.
Your lasagna nice, Matt?
Yeah, it was good.
Did you make it from scratch, or was it? Like...
That's where I was from. I can't remember. Iceland, I think.
Fair dues.
I think Iceland still exists. Feels like one of those places that disappeared at the 90s.
What, like Netto?
Yeah.
I miss Netto.
Woolworths.
Do you know... Yeah, Woolies. I miss that big W. They were at Catcliffe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had Burger King in there. You used to get like 3 plain burgers. Great. Love Burger King. Better than Macca's.
I remember when Big W closed down and the mad rush went there to clear it out.
I was there.
Of course you were.
I bought something. Do you know what I bought?
Something you didn't really want, but you just bought it because it was there anyway.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
How old would I have been? Probably about 15?
It's about 20 years ago, something like that.
No, I wouldn't have been 15 then. I'd have been younger. I'd have been about 11 then. Anyway, I bought this piece of software where you could print out maps and directions. That aged well. But it was like £8, so I thought I might need this.
That's actually quite useful. You can't always rely on technology and things like that. Ordnance survey maps.
You can now.
Ordnance survey maps will always be a thing. It's needed.
Well, you can download you can draw an area on Google now and download the maps.
Yeah, but you can
so that you don't have to use the internet.
Lose your phone. You can drop it in a river.
Right, if you lose your phone or drop it in a river, you deserve to be lost and die.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
If you can't keep your phone safe, you don't deserve to keep yourself safe. That's my motto. Yeah. Cracked screen, cracked skull. Yeah, there we go. I'm done now.